everyone, Les Herger from ComfortableShoesStudio.com and ArtJournaling.ning.com. I've got a couple of questions about cleaning brushes and cleaning gesso, specifically out of brushes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer those viewer questions and show you my method for cleaning brushes. So a lot of people have been frightened about putting gesso down their sinks, and I've never come into a problem with it, and I use a lot of gesso. So the first thing that I do, you're going to have to pretend this is a dirty brush because it's not. The first thing that I do is I open up my journal to a blank page, and I scrub the brush out onto that blank page. And I do this with acrylic paint, I do it with watercolor, I do it with gouache, I do it with gesso. So, you know, I'll just scrub that brush onto the page until I'm no longer getting any color or any paint onto the page. And then I grab a rag. And then I take the rag and I wipe the brush down, really kind of scrubbing it out until it feels kind of dry and I'm not picking up any additional paint onto the rag. And then I have a 2-cup series of paint water. One will have dirty water in it and one will have cleaner water in it. And what I'll do is I'll grab the dirty water first and I'll scrub my brush out into the dirty water. And then again, I'll grab my rag, I'll wipe it out. Then I'll grab my clean water container and I'll do the same thing until I'm not getting any additional color into the clean water. And again, I grab a rag and I wipe the brush out. From there, I go to my sink and I have a special bar of soap, which is just a bar of soap that I bought specifically for the purpose. And I'll scrub the brush into the bar of soap, building up a nice lather and a froth onto the brush. Then I rinse it out. Then I do that again until I no longer get color every time I'm scrubbing the brush into the soap. Rinse it out. And that will remove any amount of paint and color from the brush. And at that point, I'm not really concerned about how much paint is going down the drain because there's not really a whole lot of pigment or gesso left in the brush at that point. So really, that's how I clean my brushes. And then to dispose of the water in my 2 little containers, what I have is a series of largemouth, big containers. This is quart size, and I've got another quart size deli container. That literally, I take the dirty water and I pour it off into these things, and then I let it evaporate. I'll fill this up, and then I'll go to the next container, fill that up, and then over time, it evaporates out. And I've been using this one for like 6 years, and you can see the amount of sediment on the bottom. It's got about a 1/2 inch of sediment on the bottom of it. When I feel like I can no longer use this container, I'll take it to hazardous waste recycling and allow the city to dispose of it. That way, I'm not clogging my sink with the sediments in this paint, and I'm not introducing hazardous chemicals like cadmium and chromium and cobalt into the water table. I'm responsibly taking care of it. And frankly, I'll probably use this container for another 20 years before it's ready to go to hazardous waste recycling. And the same for this one. And then it's just a matter, I've got like 4 of these going at a time, so I always have room to add paint to these, or dirty paint water to these, and let it evaporate. And that way I'm being responsible with my chemical disposal. It's the safest way to take care of it, and that way I'm never ever going to clog my sink or contaminate my sink with paint water. So that's my method. I hope that helps everyone to know how to take care of their paintbrushes and dispose of the sediments.